Hey, day 12, episode 12. So this one, just want to share a little. I don't know if you ever heard of this parable called the blind men and the elephant. So it goes this way, where there's a bunch of blind men, and then they've never, you know, never heard of an elephant before. Them being blind, they were actually presented with one. So each one of the blind men touches one part of the elephant. One person touches the elephant's trunk, one person touches the elephant's ear, one touches the body, one touches the feet, and each of them came into their own conclusion. One person would say that, oh, an elephant is like a snake, an elephant is like a wall, an elephant is like a tree trunk, etc., etc. When they heard what the other blind person suggested, he said, oh, it's not a snake, it's a tree trunk. Then they're like, no, it's not. They started arguing. So what this is trying to tell you, the moral story is that, honestly speaking, right, sometimes the big picture, quote unquote, the truth or the situation comes in many perspectives sometimes, okay? And it can be actually more than what you know. So the point is that you may have grasped one portion of the elephant, okay? And from your perspective, this is what's happened. But until you actually realize from a different person's perspective that this also comes from their part or from their perspective what it is, right? You draw a bigger picture together. Instead of just always assuming that the other side is always lying, the other side is always conspiracy theory, the other side is always like twisting the facts or whatever, that kind of thing, right? Until you actually hear from another person's point of view, what they are seeing it, what they are feeling, what their understanding is, then you get a better understanding of the whole situation, the whole truth. And you will realize that neither one of you are wrong, but neither one of you are right either. Because it's a bigger picture. The elephant is every part of what those blind men have touched on. It's just a bigger continuation, a bigger creature from what they themselves been able to grasp. And I think that that's also one of those things that why I feel like communication is so important. Not one of those stupid onlines where you write something and then I can't understand, because like I said, you can get lost in translation. It's better to communicate, because sometimes it's like you need to understand what the feelings is, what the nuance is, what the context is. You can easily correct someone when they quoted you wrong, or you can actually explain to them, no, you read it this way, but that's not what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to say it this way. So communication is so important. Getting a different perspective is so important. Seeing another light of some other arguments that is totally different from yours, that quote unquote might even offend you, is important, because then you will see a bigger picture. Understand that there's more than one beliefs, understand that there's more than one nuance, understand that just because it works for you, it might offend someone else, and what's the compromise, or what's the bigger situation or picture that would fit both parties in. And that's important. And that's why communication is so important. Instead of just you grasping your part and assuming the other person is always wrong, or assuming the other person is always out to scam you. Not saying there's no one to scam you lah, but just understand is that sometimes sit down, listen, and communicate to get a bigger picture. Okay? So that's it for today. Hopefully that you can solve your elephant with more people, and then you can deal with more things together. Sit down, communicate, meet face to face will be even the best. Okay, right? That's it, guys. See you guys tomorrow.